Recording is in progress. Hello and welcome everybody. Daryl Snyder, Brandon Abbey, Fantasy Sports Logic. This is our daily deeper dive podcast for Sunday, July 23rd, I do believe.
You're correct.
We are on the homepage. If you haven't subscribed to the blog, when you go to fantasysportslogic.com, you can see right there. Subscribe, it's absolutely free. I encourage you to watch the 1-minute video about what the $1 7-day test drive of the Contrarian Edge Optimizer is all about. And then there's a little short 3-minute video there, points out a lot of the features, some of which we have added on to, which if you go to the YouTube channel where you're viewing this video, you can learn about the stack attack. But we're going to get into the daily deeper dive podcast with our partner, Ballpark Pal, and his charts. Aaron is the founder of Ballpark Pal. You can go to ballparkpal.com, see a lot more information, but he provides us a couple of things. He provides us daily with these 3,000 simulated charts. There's 4 of them. There's a home run report. There's a daily fantasy report, starting pitcher preview, and a ballpark daily stadium report. So he also is one of the 7 data providers inside of the optimizer, along with our blend, which gives us 8. So today, almost never to be left out at the top of the list again, Ohtani. Favored 25% probability, excuse me, to hit a home run. Matchup's not so good against Keller. Keller's probably one of the Pirates' best pitchers, if not their ace. He's been up and down, does tend to have some high strikeout. So the matchup's a little down, the park's a little up. 10% boost in Anaheim. And Ohtani, 1 in 4 chance to hit a home run. Next on the list, the Cardinal. He was on there yesterday.
Wait a sec. Ohtani was on there yesterday, wasn't he?
Yeah. I was there not on Goldsmith. Not sure how they fared. I think the Cubs won that game. Go back and look.
Ohtani went 0 for 4. He was my pick.
You did better than my pick, Webb. We talked about before the broadcast. I had Webb, and he was shellacked. Didn't even make it through 2 innings. So once in a while, Brandon and I, it's rare if we're both wrong. Once in a while, we don't hit them like we'd like to. So Joey Votto, a red against Arizona today. 23, almost 24% probability to hit a home run. Stanton, he's been on there quite a bit. And I haven't seen, but I've mentioned Perez, the catcher for Kansas City in New York. What do you see there? What's it look like with the solid matchups today? I noticed something very apparent there.
Very apparent. Well, you've got some, you've got a big matchup boost with Slater. Nothing on the ballpark, but if you look at those top 3, they're all pretty good bets, I think. What do you like there? What's jumping out at you?
Well, the first 4 are all Diamondbacks, so that's a big stack.
Oh, yes, it is.
You got Walker, Marte, Corbin Carroll, the rookie that's been fantastic, and Durrell. So look at the boost in the park. Great America Ballpark, as you see when we get to the stadium, is always near the top with Coors Field. I think the main slate today goes off early, 10 something.
I think it might be 9 something. The Padres are playing an early game today.
Yeah, it's not even on the slate, is it? Is it just a
separate one?
showdown?
I don't know. I will check.
I was putting in registering or reserving some lineups today. Let me see. We got Kansas City, New York, Giants in Washington, Philly, Cleveland, Baltimore, Tampa Bay, the Arizona, Cincinnati game, Colorado, Miami, Atlanta, Milwaukee, White Sox, Twins, Cubs, Cards, and Dodgers, Texas. So those are the main slate. The Padres are probably going off before that. Where are they playing? Detroit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a an earlier start. And I saw there might be some rain heading that way. I don't think it'll cancel the game, but I think it'll definitely delay. I saw the radar checking it out to see where there might be difficulty. But on the main slate, I think we're good. But as we said, we like to stack if you play DraftKings or FanDuel almost all the time, not 100%, but I would safely say at least 90%, a 4 or 5 team stack because of correlation. Tens, if you pick the right pitching combo, tends to give you a great chance of being above the money line. So you can see right there, there's a core 4. Add another Diamondback into that mix and you've got your 5. And as Brandon pointed out, Austin Slater against the lefty Mackenzie Gore. Slater at one time had the highest average against lefties. So he's pretty tough hitter against lefties. So there's a nice boost. Overall production in the matchup. And as Brandon said, kind of even on Nationals, the park. Sometimes the wind, park ranks up there as well. Here's our, or here is his, excuse me, daily fantasy report. Aaron does a nice job, ranks by position, 3 players per position, except for pitcher and outfield. He'll give you his top 8. And again, these are from him simulating 3,000 different potential outcomes of the games today. The blue is for FanDuel, and the green is the projection for DraftKings. What do you see here, Brandon?
Well, I like Luzardo as my pitcher today, and then I would stick with Goldie at first base. I will come down and take Yelich on my team and spend a little extra money and get Acuna.
That's some pretty solid picks.
Yeah,
I like Luzardo too. I think he's probably going to be super chalk, which means very popular today. He's been on a roll, and I don't see anything changing against that Rocky team today. There are not a whole lot of threats in that lineup. Maybe Crone if he's healthy. Blackman, he's a lefty. He's not as solid against lefties as he was. You got maybe Bryant, the former Cub and Giant. He may be a threat to Luzardo, but other than that, I think he can cut through that lineup like a hot knife through butter. Musk goes on, but as we said, play him in the showdown. He's not on the main slate. I kind of like over for the Twins. Nola, he's always decent. He doesn't. His last couple of games not so good.
Take a good look at Taj Bradley. He's $7,600 on DraftKings. That could be a pretty good value.
Who is it? Brown?
Bradley.
Oh, Taj
Bradley.
Taj Mahal Bradley.
Yeah.
You know what? I kind of looked at the stat going the other way.
Okay.
But that's not to say that he can be hot and cold. His problem is he doesn't give up a lot of hits, but when he does, they're dingers. If you look at his stats, I was reading about him earlier, but I like him. He's a good young pitcher, but he's obviously projected well. 16, almost 17 points. So Giolito for the White Sox at 15. Got some pitching opportunities. I'm with you. I don't see how you fade Luzardo today. It'd be hard to catch up. I think he's says 22. I'm projecting him a little higher. I think he can get to 30 today against the Rockies. And then I think Wu's on the later slate, that Seattle game. There you go. Miami is playing, well, not Miami, Tampa Bay. The reason is the Orioles bats, Brandon. If you're talking about a guy that gives up home runs and you're going against that lineup with Baltimore, that's a little scary for me. So we'll see. Tomorrow will be another day, and we'll be able to see if Bradley was right or my Oriole tip was good. But I'm definitely going to stack a couple of teams with the Orioles, hoping that not a lot of people do.
And they're playing in
Go ahead,
Tampa
I'm
Bay,
sorry.
aren't they? They're down in Tampa Bay for the game.
Yeah, the stadium definitely favors the pitcher. Those
Okay.
Orioles, I've seen them annihilate some good pitchers with their lineup. Who was it they were playing? Ryan? I think it was a week ago today. Ryan had like 10 strikeouts through 4 2/3. Then he was cruising, and all of a sudden Baltimore scored like 11 runs in the last 3 innings. Right, so maybe Bradley can get to 5 and they'll pull him, and then Orioles will smash on the relievers. But here is the starting pitcher preview. Aaron does a nice job. A lot of information. I've been on the phone with him. Overall grades, you'll see Musgrove again. He's in the early slate. Grades out well overall. Not too good with his 4-seam fastball, a D-. These 3 middle columns are the last 1,000 pitches that the pitcher likes to throw and how they've graded out. So you can see Musgrove grade on his curveball and his cutter, but not so good on his 4-seam fastball. Giants, yeah, you see what they're doing with DeSclafani today. He's coming in as a long bulk reliever. They're letting Alexander start. Sclafani hasn't quite rounded into form after, I think he's been on the DL twice with a foot problem, but we'll see today. He could be a sneaky play, but there's a lot of good pitchers, so I don't know if you need to be sneaky in a 10-game slate. What pops out at you?
Oh, let me see. I like, well, besides Luzardo, you got Ober pitching today. He's always good for 5 or 6 innings and 5 or 6 strikeouts. I would go with those two. Nola's in there with good numbers, but he is expensive as well. Of course, you want Nola or Luzardo, you're going to have to pay for it. Good value wise. Let me see who I like there. Yeah, probably. I still, for a value, I'm going with Bradley, even though you think he's going to get rocked. We'll see.
You're sticking to your guns. I don't think you give up a lot of hits. I think he'll pop
I think he's
up.
going to give up dingers.
I think I'm predicting 3 balls will leave the yard off of him today. Rushman, I'll even call out Rushman, Gunnar Henderson, and who's my third guy that might take him deep? Santander. That's what I'm going to come up with. So we'll see.
Yeah. Are you writing this down, or do I have to?
Do what?
Are you writing it down, or do I have to?
I will. Rushman, Santander, and who was the other one I said? Gunnar Henderson. I'll take him deep today. I was going to throw in Mullins too. I don't know if he's healthy, but those are my 3 picks to go long against Taj Mahal Bradley today. I was
Okay.
looking at Philly stack, looks pretty tasty against Curry. Look at his grades. Best he's had, that is a 4-seam fastball, C-, F with his slider, F with his cutter. Could be in for Schwarber feast today. Schwarber's been hot and cold. I'd like to say, I think every hit he has is almost a home run. The guy swings from his heels, but connected, I think, over 30 times. So I would imagine Nola and the Phillies are pretty heavily favored, even though they're playing in Cleveland. Weaver Ruiz, I like to go out here. You see Nola 6.2 strikeouts. Mackenzie Gore against my Giants. That makes a lot of sense. They have been striking out a lot. He's got great grades. A-, B+. Hate to have to do that, but I might have to throw Gore in. The good thing about playing Gore is if the Giants beat him, I don't feel so bad. But if he does good, then it's kind of a win-win for me. It's reverse psychology. Waste a $3 play on potential, but I don't know how many people will play him. We'll see what his ownership ends up. Wu down there, he's in the later slate. Always nice opportunity. Projected almost 7 strikeouts, and then Brandon pointed out Brown against Funky called Medina for the A's. Brown has a nice, that's the afternoon game as well. Got an A-, got to stay away from that slider. Grading out with a big F on that slider. Here is the stadium report. This is how Ballpark Pal and Aaron caught my attention. I saw this posted and then reached out to them, and pretty cool. Shows you the wind. Wrigley keeps sneaking up. Remember when they are at the bottom? It's getting warmer and the wind is starting to shift. So they're kind of neutral today. Had been down, even though the wind's still coming in. Must not be as strong. The top of the chart almost every time, unless they're playing at Coors Field. Great America Ballpark in Cincinnati, boost of 15% runs, a 1 in 4 chance of home run boost, doubles and triples up. And as I say, when you see not much in the singles and a lot in the home runs and doubles and triples, projecting a lot of extra base hits. So interesting at Fenway. What do you think about that?
You know, I was just looking back to yesterday in Comerica was a -18 on home run production, and runs overall was a -1, and the Padres put up 14 against the Detroit's 3. So
What's that old saying? Good hitting beats bad weather, and
Boy,
vice versa.
I guess it does.
I think it was originally said good pitching beats good hitting and vice versa, but yeah, you can. I mean, again, these are simulations, projections, and Padres definitely have a lineup to do something like that. They started to heat up in the second half, but they are hit or miss. I like them today with Musgrove. I wish that was on the main slate.
It's going to be a good race in the National League West when we get down to the end.
Yeah, Giants need to pick up Ohtani, make themselves competitive.
Yeah,
Anyway, what I was noticing, oops, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say that Atlanta and Milwaukee, I think there are going to be some runs scored there. And it's kind of a, not much of a push, a 3% push for the ballpark today.
Yeah, look at the boost, the wind. That's interesting because they have the roof that can open or close there. 19% home run boost. I know you grab Yelich, you always like Adame. Maybe a nice stat. The pitcher going for Atlanta is not one of their strongest. We'll go back up and look at him. But what I was noticing at Fenway, look at the wind, right? They're blowing out directly at the green monster, right? So that's why home runs down a little bit, but a lot of balls bouncing off the high wall.
Have you ever been to Fenway?
No.
I've been a couple of times, and the food outside the ballpark, the vendors set up their own little shops, and the food's really good outside the ballpark. And one time I went and we sat right down on the third base line, and it does make you nervous. I mean, you're that close to it's as close as I've ever been to the actual field. And I forget who they were playing, but I was with a friend of mine who's a professor at UMass, and then he had one of his foreign exchange students from China who didn't know anything about baseball, and it was his first time he'd ever gone to a game. And Boston won 22-4 or something.
Did they hit a lot of balls off the monster?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a great ballpark to go see.
I have not. I've been outside of Camden Yards when I was in Baltimore. They weren't in town, but it was a nice looking stadium as well. But I haven't been to Boston before, but it was when baseball wasn't playing. It was in the winter. I did play steel tip darts in Boston. You go into the bars and they've got, right? I don't know if they still have with the crazies in it, but right? The darts I was used to in the Midwest was the plastic tips, right? But
Yeah.
they have real steel tips and chalkboards where you keep the scores, and pretty interesting.
Got that in my garage.
You have them? Steel tips?
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was growing up, my dad had them in the garage, and my garage had rafters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I threw it and it stuck. And this is a true story. I walked to see, and it came unstuck and fell, and it caught me right here in the lip, and it went down. It could have went right in my eye. You learn when you're young, certain things you don't do, and that's don't look up and walk underneath the dart. That you don't know where it is, but yeah, that's my steel tip dart experience. So very lucky I have both eyes. But nice. I was gonna go up here and see who the pitching. What was I looking at? Which game? Over Giolito. It's a good looking matchup there. Both of them projected over 5 innings. Not a lot of runs. Giolito almost 7 strikeouts. Minnesota, they get targeted. They do strike out a lot as well. And over could be a nice tandem there. I like doing pitchers from the same game if they look favorable, because the likelihood of one of them getting the win, right? You get that little win bonus. In a perfect world, they both pitch like 7 innings of shutout. A reliever comes in and gives up a run or something, or one of the guys gets a run, I guess, to get the win. They'd have to do that. But okay, a lot of great information. Look what I added, Brandon. What do we have here?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Ballpark Pal currently, as I said, one of 8 live player projection feeds. We have 7 partners, and our proprietary secret sauce blend. If you haven't checked out the Contrarian Edge Optimizer, you can do so. 7 days, only $1. And got a couple of promotions with our partners at Drafters. You can take the test drive currently while they last. You get for free a $20 entry into the Drafters $2 million NFL best ball style contest that has a $300,000 first prize. That's free just for doing the test drive. I will contact you. I will give you the information on how to access that. Also, if you want to take advantage of the promo code, if you go to drafters.com, promo code FSL for Fantasy Sports Logic 100. When you sign up, there's a little area there. They will match your $100 deposit with a $100 playing credit. So theoretically, you could go there, use your $20 free entry, and enter 10 more contests, 5 with the $100 deposit and then 5 more with the max. Or you can play, they have daily fantasy, the prop picks. You can use $100, the 200 basically any way you want, but it's $100 deposit match with our partners there. And again, you'll see I put it right there for you so you don't forget it. Nice little promo for you. So okay, Brandon, we're going to come to the time of the day where you're probably going to go to Taj Mahal, Bradley, but I'm going to let you to pick a pitcher and a position player for your picks of the day. And I know we're at least going to do as well as we did yesterday because we didn't do so well.
Well, I'm going to go a little safe, and then I'm going to go a little bit out there. And I'm going with Luzardo as my pitcher. And then I'm going to take, and you'll like this, I'm going to take Slater.
I do like that one. Against the lefty, they need a spark today. He's going to bat leadoff, and he's got a nice boost in matchup, right? Look at that.
Yeah.
Very, very probable. Probably going to throw him in some of my stacks as the off guy. The problem with him is he normally with Kapler and his platooning, player will stay in there until a righty comes in, and then whoever isn't starting, if it's Jock, Peterson, Yastrzemski, he sometimes flips the batting order over, but later we'll get a couple at bats, most likely, and he high probability of doing well.
Yeah, he's only $3,500, so you can,
Nice.
you can get him in a lot of lineups.
Yeah.
Who are you going with?
Okay, well, I can't ignore those Orioles since I talked about my prediction against Taj. So I'm going to go with the catcher, Rushman, switch hitter. I think he'll turn around bat left. If you saw in the All-Star game, he was the first guy to hit home runs from both sides in the home run derby. He did. He batted left, turned around, batted right. So I like him. I'm going to take him as my position player. Although I did pick a couple other Orioles. I'll limit it to one position player. In my pitcher, you grab Luzardo. I'm going to give the guy facing the Twins, Giolito.
Yeah.
I think he'll probably have a little bit of following today. Him and over. I've already said I think I'm going to stack those two pitchers in a lot of my lineups. Not playing a ton. I think I'm going to play maybe 25 to 30. And the $3, they have the $3 max 150 with a 10,000 up top today. So write that down, Brandon. Giolito.
I wrote it down.
And Rushman. And you have Luzardo and Austin later.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Okay. Anything you want to add in closing?
Enjoy the last round of the British Open. The rain's coming down pretty good, and I don't know who's leading right now, but
How many holes are left?
still Harmon. About let's see how many are left. Yeah, Harmon has a 5-shot lead, and he's got 9 holes left to play, so he's looking pretty strong there.
Do you think the rain favors a leader or hinders?
Rain's kind of an individual thing. It's like if it gets in your head, it's going to screw up your game. A little bit like wind. These guys are more used to playing in the wind than they are in the rain. You have to have a good caddy to keep your clubs dry and keep you comfortable. So I think it favors, although Harmon's playing very well, it does generally favor the European players. That's, although, let's see, John Rahm's even through 10. Tommy Fleetwood is 1 under through 12. McElroy is 3 under through 15. Looks like one of the better rounds of the day. Stratka's 2 under through 12. So.
And what's Harmon for the day?
Harmon is even. So.
Yeah, I'd say that's gonna be tough. 9 holes, 5-stroke lead. I would think that he is in pretty good shape. Not sure what his odds were to win. I don't know how many people picked him, but just surprising for you. I know he's been decent, but do you have him as one of your?
No, I don't. I don't have him as a pick, but I do have Stratka, McElroy, and Fleetwood on my team. So I will be cashing something.
Nice. Congratulations.
Well, it's not over yet, as we know. So
good luck. Well, thank you, everybody. We're going to end this recording. A lot of exciting things coming. You can follow along on the blog, as I said, for free. Subscribe. And I think you will enjoy. Have an awesome day, everybody.